This video is going to focus on validation message Error PPV VA1. There is no timesheet entry for the approved leave request. We are currently logged in as the Timekeeper, and we are under the Select Employees menu. We will be working with our full-time GS employee today, and we can either get into our employee's timesheet by clicking on the pay period, or by putting the check in front of the employee's name, scrolling to the bottom, and selecting timesheet. It's important to remember, once we get into our timesheets, we want to press the Validate button. We press the Validate button to generate our validation messages, to generate our error messages. We don't actually want to validate the timesheet until Timesheet Friday at the end of the pay period. That is the point in time in which you will actually press the Validate button with the expectation of the timesheet validating. Let's take a look at this first error. There is no timesheet entry for the approved leave request with transaction annual leave from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. on 5/2. So the error message is giving you all of the information that you need. What this message typically means is that the Timekeeper has already posted time to a specific day, and then the leave request was approved. Because if we click on 5/2, the day in question, we can see that we have already posted from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. 8 hours of RG regular graded pay. When you get this error message, I typically tell timekeepers to jot down on a notepad or just a post-it note exactly what the error is telling us, that it's annual leave from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. on 5/2. Because once we start to work that day, the error message will disappear. However, we can easily generate it again. So the first thing we would want to do is we need to delete the 8 hours of regular time off of the timesheet, and we do that by clicking the box with the X that says delete. Notice that right now we have 8 hours on 5/2, but once we delete, we now have 0 hours. And notice our validation messages are no longer visible. So let's say that you didn't write down what that validation error said and you needed to see it again. All you have to do is press Validate, and now we have our errors back up. This is when we want to use the Add Leave Time button, because the leave has already been approved. It's telling us that right there in the error message. So we select Add Leave Time. The error message also told us the start time, which was 8 a.m. If we just type 8 and tab, it will fill in the colon, the zeros, and the a.m. For our stop time, we can put either 4:30 p.m. or 16:30 and tab. It's very important that you always remember the meal. Most schedules will have a 30-minute meal built in, so we type 30. The hours code will automatically default to LA annual leave. If it were sick leave or some other type of leave, just simply use the drop-down box and change it. Let's go back to annual leave because we know that's what this specific leave request was for. We've now entered it. Once we scroll to the bottom and select Validate, that error message is now gone. So that is how you follow up the error message that tells you there is no timesheet entry for the approved leave request.